I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, and then we do the...
Roll call.
Commissioner Anger? Here. Commissioner Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner French? Here. Commissioner Garrison?
Here.
Commissioner Kalani?
Here.
It's flashing green now.
Oh.
I just was tapping it to see if you can see the lights.
Oh.
Hey, what?
Can you hear him in that?
I think we got public comment.
Yeah, they wrote the wrong thing. Okay.
Just keep it on your toes.
Yeah.
Lots of sightings.
Nobody wants to talk.
No, I think it's just there for the...
Yeah, that's good.
So if you'd like, I could introduce our next item.
Yeah.
So the next item is to administer the oath of office, and so tonight you'll notice I have a different person sitting next to me versus Bob Sterringer who normally sits here. So, yeah. So we have Jenny Bricker. Am I saying that right? Bricker, right? Sorry. With Ray Long, one of Bob's an attorney with the same law firm that Bob's with. We actually work with Jenny quite a bit on the property acquisition item. She's done a variety of work for us on that. So it's nice to have her joining us this evening in his absence. What we'll plan on doing is we'll have all of the four people who will be sworn in as commissioners come up. We'll have you stand in order of your position. So we'll start with Commissioner Donnell, Commissioner Anger, Commissioner French, and then Commissioner Garrison. We'll have Jenny administer the oath, which we'll do in a manner where when she asks you to state your name, we'll ask that you state it one at a time, but the rest of it you can say at the same time. Afterwards, we'll then notarize the document and you'll be official. So if there's no questions, we'll proceed.
So you're just going to tell us what to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
Well,
actually,
I'll give you
she'll give
something
you-
to read from,
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'll have it in front of you.
but I'll prompt you if you need it.
No, I'm only used to, in the union, we just repeated what the person said, so I didn't know.
All right. So feel
I
free
was
to go.
thinking something
We'll have
else that.
the four of you come out in front.
Okay, we have to be in order.
And while you're organizing, I will point out, we have Cindy Wolf with us from Sunrise, who will be doing the notary for you today.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
You will be next.
I think so. Is that right? Are we in the correct? Okay.
I think you're in the correct order. Are we? Would you all raise your right hands, please? And would you each state your name?
Cheryl French.
Oh, just one at a time, please.
I, Tessa Donnell.
Naomi Anger?
Cheryl French?
Lester Garrison.
And then do you want to read it in unison?
Yes.
Do hereby swear to faithfully discharge the duties of Commissioner of Clackamas River Water, a water district under Oregon Revised Statutes, Chapter 264, according to the constitutions of the United States of America and the state of Oregon, and to the laws of the state of Oregon, to the best of my ability, during the term of office to which I was elected.
Thanks very much. And congratulations all.
No, thank you.
All right.
Congratulations. Oh, we'll be here all year, guys.
All.
Well, you get 4, I get 2.
Oh, you can see it.
Thank you.
At
And if you will sign those, and make sure you stop by, you want them to sign in your,
But I have the ones to sign over here too.
oh,
Did
you
you
do,
want us to
okay.
do it at the end of the meeting? Is that what
Just
you're saying?
file by this table and sign and get your signature notarized and it'll be official.
the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
You second?
Yeah. He moved and I seconded.
Oh, okay.
Commissioner Ancher,
Yes.
Commissioner Janelle,
Yes.
Commissioner French. Yes. Commissioner Garrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, now, I think right now we,
We do elections.
election of the board.
So if it'd be helpful, I'd be able to provide some background on that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the next item is the election of officers, and so the officers include the board, for the board are the president, secretary, and treasurer. And then, so we will make the election process will follow that order. So we'll do president first, then secretary, then treasurer. Unless you decide differently, and traditionally what we've done is whoever's elected president will then preside over the remaining part of the elections, and then the remaining part of the board meeting as well. So, the way we'll do this is the positions will be nominated by motion for each position, and so you have a sample motion in your packet for each of the positions. And then once somebody has been nominated, we'll do a second, and then the board can discuss and vote. So, if there's any questions? All right.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, I nominate Commissioner French for the office of president for FY 2019-2020.
Second the motion.
Discussion, questions?
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I have no choice. She's browbeating me every day. It's February.
All right. Then Commissioner Klein, if you'll call. If you're ready to call for the vote.
Question, call the vote.
Commissioner Ancher,
Yes.
Commissioner Janelle,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Garrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani.
Yes.
Motion
I was
carries.
gonna say no.
It's too late.
Too late.
All right, so since you've been elected as president, we'll have you preside over the rest of the meeting, so you'll just, you get the gavel now.
I need a bigger yell. Okay, nominations for the office of secretary. I nominate Naomi Anger.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Oh, no, I think we have to
Do
do
we
it.
have to roll call it?
Roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who's seconding?
Who seconded? Okay.
Rusty did.
Commissioner Garrison.
Okay, Commissioner Ancher,
Yes.
Commissioner Janelle,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Garrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, nominations for treasurer.
I nominate Commissioner Garrison for treasurer.
Second.
Commissioner Ancher,
Yes.
Commissioner Janelle,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Oh, yes.
Commissioner Garrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Okay, I guess we go to item number 3, reoccurring payments, approval of reoccurring payments, fiscal year 2019-2020 contracts and excess of general manager's approval limit account.
So would you first like to make a motion?
Oh, okay. I move to approve the recurring purchases for FY 2019-20 that are $50,000 or over per the attached list.
Second motion.
Okay, any discussion?
Let me just do my quick little presentation here. So you have a list in front of you that starts with annual payments that are greater than $50,000. And the first list are things that we typically don't have a contract with. We might have an intergovernmental agreement. We have costs that are set by the state. We have a settlement agreement for payment to South Fork Water Board. Collective bargaining impacts some of these. And then we also have our bond official statements for both the 2009 bonds and the 2016 bonds. So these are all things that we're going to pay this year that exceed $50,000, which is the limit for the general manager. We know we're going to pay him this year, so we are bringing these to the board to ask for your approval up front. Then we have a list. These second and third page, we have a list mostly of things that are on contract or with a blanket purchase order. And these, many of these are things like Portland General Electric, those are still the first list. So these are contracts on-call construction contracts. We have some money put aside for surveying, landscaping, meter reading, just a lot of the activities that we need for operating the district. So you've got those two lists, and these are all the items that are over 50,000. Additionally, we provide a list for you of items that are between 25 and 50,000. These are for informational purposes only, but it's for the board policy. We share this information with you, and there are things that are in that range. And again, ordinary operating for the district, things like our annual audit, our security services, some IT services, and some maintenance agreements that we have for keeping our software up to date. So that's really all I've got as far as the presentation. If you have any questions about any of the items on the list, I'd be happy to try to answer those for you.
Any questions, discussion?
Call for question?
So are you ready for the vote?
Commissioner Anger,
Yes.
Commissioner Janelle,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Garrison,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 4, contract award, approval of recurring payments fiscal year, I did that. Contract award, consider approval of construction contract for Edgewood Neighborhood Waterline Project.
Okay, I move to award the Edgewood Neighborhood Water Lines construction contract to Rachi Incorporated for the bid amount of $654,945 and authorize the general manager to sign the completed contract.
Second.
Discussion?
So, Joe will give you an overview.
I'm taking up too much time here.
We're flexible.
The easy way is to do this.
I'd like me to close it properly.
Engineer.
Right, Tom?
I disable his computer.
Good evening, Commissioners. Welcome, Mr. Donnell.
Thank you.
I hope I said that right.
You did.
Tonight, I bring to you a new project and the closure of an old project, which will be number 5. Item number 4 is the Edgewood Neighborhood Project. This is a CIP project that started last year. We did the design under the fiscal year 17-19, and the construction will be constructed under the fiscal year 19-21. We received 9 bids. They were very competitive, and we got a good price from a known contractor. Rachi is the contractor that's building our 152nd Avenue Reservoir, and they're also building our Hatton Road Pump Station. So that's a contract with us. We also know them from another project you'll see on the agenda today, the Sergino Farms subdivision. They did the subdivision work. So we worked with them on waterline work there too. So this is a known contractor. For this project, which I didn't say very much, if at all, anything in this agenda item, is that we used a different strategy for our procurement. We opened the start date up for the contractor to select with a date not to exceed February 1st of next year. The construction environment right now is very busy, and we have different agencies have variable difficulty or ease of hiring contractors in a busy summer's construction season. So we thought this was a good strategy. I think it worked out that we got plenty of bids and competitive bids, and it still fits within the fiscal year that the construction costs are associated with, and I think we'll do good on this job.
If I may, I would would like to add, and I'm glad Joe brought it up, but I think it's evident by the number of bids, as Joe pointed out, that we've received on this project, and extremely competitive bids. So I appreciate Joe and the folks he's worked with and their team trying to kind of suggest this alternative strategy that I think we're getting some real added value as a result of.
Smart.
So you said that there was a date, a deadline date that they.
The contract allows the contractor to select his start date. So he needs to give us a couple weeks' notice of when he wants to start. And then we'll issue a notice to proceed and proceed with the contract as if it were a normal contract starting next week. So there's a process we go through to start up. There's a pre-construction meeting, there's the submittal reviews and approvals, mobilization. So once he gives us notice, a formal notice in writing, then we'll issue the notice to proceed. That notice to proceed has to be issued on or before February 1st.
Of 2020,
Correct.
okay. And my second question is, exactly where is this neighborhood? Somewhere,
It's a dead-end set of streets off of Hatton Road.
okay,
Yeah.
This area here, if that helps.
okay.
We fix leaks in there frequently. Originally, a couple of years ago, this started out as a smaller piece. We decided, because we had, the board approved a consultant contract for the design of all 3 streets. And we decided, since we were rolling into a new fiscal year, a new budget year, we would go ahead and build all of the streets rather than hold them back. Partly because we'll only disturb the neighborhood one more time. And then we'll be out of the Hatton area and everybody will be rid of us for a while.
And you're comfortable that this amount, this bid is gonna cover it through 2021 financial-wise?
2020.
Well, the bid is what the contractor says they'll build it for.
And
Now,
you're comfortable with
is there a risk that the price will be up or down from that? Yes, there is. The contract is for 90 days. So if they start on February 1st, they'll be done before summer.
Thank you, have a question.
The other question I had was 21% less than the estimate.
Cost estimate.
Wow, that's unusual. That much. It's kind of nice.
Well, the next one is also quite a bit less than, if you look, how to say this? We generally include contingencies in our cost estimates because we really don't know what the environment is. We don't know, is it a really tight environment, which a contractor is gonna bid high and say, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, make a good profit. Or he's not available, so you get a less competitive environment. And so we try to anticipate what will happen, and then when the bids come in low, we're happy rather than them coming in high and we're unhappy.
Makes perfect sense.
I can understand that.
Next.
Do you think that giving them the option to choose their start date had something to do with the bids being so competitive?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
If we had tried to force them to start in July or August, we may have gotten 1 bid, 2 bids.
You got 1,
No
2, 3,
bids.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I wanted to comment, one thing I noticed is the estimate for mobilization for Rachi was the lowest and quite a bit under most of the other ones. And that's probably due to the fact that they have other contracts going in the area. And so as they finish those up, mobilization to this project would be less expensive. Is that correct? Or no?
Possibly, that
Possibly.
might have an impact on it. Now, mobilization for a water line trench work is a dump truck, a crew trailer,
Backhoe.
and a backhoe. So as far as moving that in, we the actual physical mobilization is not necessarily the cost of mobilization. The mobilization also includes their insurance premiums, the bonding costs, other unknowns. We do put an upper limit. I believe this contract is either 5 or 8%, and that will be variable depending on the size of the contract. We don't want contractors to front load mobilization too greatly, so we do put that limit on.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Call a question?
Call the question?
Commissioner Anger?
Yes.
Commissioner Danell?
Yes.
Commissioner French?
Yes.
Commissioner Garrison?
Yes?
Commissioner Kalani?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 5.
It's gonna be you.
Here I am again.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him make a motion first, though.
Okay. I move to approve the notice of acceptance for Highway 224 Intertie project to establish the project completion date and authorize the general manager's signature on said notice of acceptance.
Second?
All right, now take it over.
Okay, this is the one we just finished. It's actually been finished for a little while now. This is a backbone project. It runs from the junction at 212, 224, all the way to Carver,
Okay.
and connects to the pipeline that we finished last year at over the Carver Bridge,
Okay.
and up to Grunt, was that section. So this, when this was completed, and Adam has a picture on his wall of water spilling out of a blow off, where what that represents is north side water being delivered to the south side. That's an ongoing concern right now. We have water to the south side. And when the pump station is activated later this year, we'll have north side water in Redmond pressure level. So it's a key, it's one of the last pieces, it's the last piece of pipe for phase 1. The contractor, a little background, it took several months for ODOT to issue a permit on this project, and the contractor started the day the permit was issued. He was raring to go, and completed it in record time, in my opinion, for the size of pipe and the depth and some of the problems that he heard. There was a little bit of overage due to pavement primarily, that ODOT wanted us to do additional repair on the road. That being, they wanted us to do a grind and inlay for several lanes, and I don't know if you've driven through there, you'll see all the dark black is all our new pavement. This is the light gray, is the old pavement. We had a 4% overage on the project, which is, in my opinion, a good number. We always target for something less than 10%. It's also under the engineer's estimate. Let me give you some numbers. You were mentioning the engineer's estimate.
$2,441,665.
Yes, there they are. I'll take them back. Our estimate was $2,000,004, and the bonded amount was 1.7. So that was trying to give you some information for the past questions that we had about borrowed amount versus what construction costs were. The bid amount was 1.8. The overage was 77,000, so the final contract was 1.9, which would be about $500,000 under the original engineer's estimate. We did encounter a mislocated sanitary sewer, which did bump us into it wasn't too problematic in that once they hit it, they stopped work, and then they moved to the other end of the project and worked from a different direction. So we didn't have a lot of downtime. That did affect some of the paving costs some of the pipe material that was used, fittings. We worked through it, and we had a redesign done before they got there and needed it.
So that and the pavement restoration required by ODOT were the main part of the change order, is that correct?
Correct.
Is there any other significant change order?
No significant. Now, we carry an extra work item in the contract. In this particular contract, because of the size of the contract, it was for $20,000. We had 4 items for that, and that one was for $900. One was for $15,000. That was for part of the bore across U12. And there's some issues there. There's a downtime cost for the encountering the sanitary sewer. They lost about 2/3 of the shift. You have all that equipment and labor that is out there and can't work. And then we pay for some message boards for the public notification detour.
Okay, thank you.
The actual change order for this project, and it doesn't fall within the 15% required for board approval, the actual change order was $164,000 for the pavement. That is offset by, so when you add it all up, it's over 190. That $164,000 is offset by reductions in the pavement bid item quantities because we did it a different way. And so the value that was in the bid item for pavement restoration was reduced. And so the difference becomes the $77,000. So it's, when you look at a change order of $164,000, you say, wow, that's a big number, but you reduce that by not doing other work.
Not having to do other work. Okay, thank you.
Did you say this was the last piece of phase 1?
This is the last pipe for phase 1. The 152nd Avenue Reservoir is not online yet, so that
Okay.
isn't online, and the pump station at Hatton Road isn't online yet.
Okay.
Valid acceptance of the HAP pipe also potentially.
Hatton Road, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah, that's an ongoing contract, isn't quite done yet.
Great.
Anything else?
All questions?
Commissioner Answer?
Yes.
Commissioner Danell?
Yes.
Commissioner French?
Yes.
Commissioner Garrison?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalani?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the board have a problem with just doing one motion for the consent agenda? I notice there's a couple of things in there, but usually we just,
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
second.
Okay. All those in favor? Or do we have to call them?
You can do it however you want.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Let's do that.
So, good evening, Commissioners. Agenda item 6 includes the written manager report that I wanted to expand a little bit on tonight. But before I do, I want to point out you do have in front of you the envelope, the manila folder that has some additional information I want to bring to your attention. One is your monthly report that you receive every month. Couple things I wanted to highlight is that if you look on I'm sorry, I'm going to mark that. If you look on page 6 of that report where it talks about new service meter installations, I think it is a pretty amazing instance where this year has been very busy as far as new service installations. So we've had 117, which for CRW, that's a pretty big number. To give you a comparison, last year we were at 54, so over double new service installations than we were last year. Another thing that I just want to bring to your attention as far as the monthly report is if you look at, again, page 9 is the Backbone Phase 1 project management report. So the projects, you know, the Highway 224 Intertie project that Joe just talked about, so those numbers are all reflected in here as well, in addition to where we're at with the other projects related to the Backbone. And then I want to also point to the last page. You have your river flow graph, page 12. And so the good news is it's not as bad as as the last couple of years. You know, we're actually in a little bit better position, but I do want to also remind the board that that is something that can change rather quickly. So this is good news for now, but it's just news for now. So we'll continue to track that and report to the board monthly as things progress there. You also have in your packet a copy of the article or the opinion piece that was submitted by Mr. Bresky in the Clackamas Review, in addition to some information that staff has provided as it relates to the background. I did try to reach out to Mr. Bresky and called the number that we have in our system and left him a message with my cell number and my direct line but I haven't heard anything from him. So I'll report back to you if I have an opportunity to have a conversation with him. Also, in your packet, in the folder, is an article that appeared in the American Waterworks Association's Connection newsletter. And so this is a newsletter that is sent to all the AWWA members throughout the U.S. and Canada. And it's nice because this has a member spotlight of our own Suzanne DiLorenzo. Dr. DiLorenzo, who manages our water quality lab, was featured in that. And it's kind of a fun article, gives you a little insight on her and what she's doing at CRW, some of the things, initiatives that CRW is working on, and plus some of her crazy personal life items as well. So
A veritable Swiss Army knife?
she is that. So anyway, I'm very excited to have her spotlighted in that newsletter. And so congratulations to her. So it's a great way to share with some of the things that's going on, not only that she's working on, but that's going on at CRW. So some positive things there. You also in your packet have an updated commissioners list with addresses and phone numbers. If there is something wrong on that, please let Karen know. And then we'll actually probably update you or give you another list next go around with the offices that were elected this evening. And then also I wanted to bring your attention, you have a list of the commissioner assignments for this last fiscal year. But under the board policies, the board president is responsible for appointing those representatives to the different boards. And so if you're interested in serving in a different role or you want to maintain your existing role, please let Commissioner French know, and I'll work with her to get a final list put together for your August board meeting. As far as the written reports and agenda item 6, a couple things I do want to highlight is the Regional Water Providers Consortium Technical Committee. Actually, Matt, we hosted it here at CRW and had an opportunity to talk a lot about emergency preparedness and some of the things that are going on with the Regional Disaster Preparedness Organization. One of the things that our DPO is responsible for is kind of approving grants that we've received as it relates to emergency water distribution systems and our treatment trailers. One of the things that's a little bit different is now before approving additional grants related to emergency water supply, they would actually like to see the water providers come together to develop more of a regional emergency water supply plan. And so that's something that we'll be working on with the consortium, so I thought that was good. We just talked a little bit about river flows, and so that's one of the things that the consortium does as well as we talk about what's going on in the different regions. I thought it was interesting where the Portland Water Bureau with the Bull Run source said that they experienced the earliest drawdown start date for the Bull Run system that they've ever experienced, and that was May 7th. And so early on, when I expressed some concern about the flows of Clackamas, this was felt in other areas of the state as well. I just looked at the new Portland supply numbers, and they're having the same bump that we are right now, so that's good news for them as well. As it relates to the Clackamas River water providers, one of the things, that's a group that we're a member of, and that handles all of our a lot of our watershed activities, conservation activities. We do a lot of planning type work through that organization. So every so often they elect a chair and a vice chair to serve in that role for that organization. Wade with Sunrise Water, Wade Hawthorne, has served in that role for many, many years and is ready to pass on the torch and stuff. So I've been asked to serve as chair of that organization for the next 2 years. But before I accepted that, I wanted to make sure I talked to you about it and make sure that was okay. But again, I go to the meetings anyway, so hopefully.
Oh, I think it's perfectly all right.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a no.
Well,
Yeah.
Wade will thank you. Let's see, so actually yesterday I had an opportunity to speak at the Clackamas County Business Alliance meeting. This was the third presentation that we talked about water-centered resiliency in Clackamas County. And so had a chance to share the stage with representative from the American Society of Civil Engineers and also Representative West. It was nice where Commissioner Donnell was actually the moderator for that as well. So
Todd did a great job representing Clackamas River Water.
appreciate that. Next item I wanted to just bring to your attention is Riverside Park. As many of you know, we own a park as part of our district, but we're not really in the parks business, and so that makes it a challenge. And so what we have noted from previous years is issues with vandalism and just trying to police the area a little bit more. And so we've actually decided to try something a little bit different after talking to some others and have more of a security type presence there. And so we'll actually have a security guard that will be showing up for longer periods of time on busy, more so weekend type periods, and we'll have the ability to kind of write citations and if there's activities that are going on that shouldn't be going on in the park. And we don't allow fires, we don't allow a lot of those types of things. And so we're going to try to have a little bit more presence. Eventually our plan is to come back maybe this winter with a more involved outline of maybe some things that we want to have the board consider having us move forward with to have a better presence in the park in the future. So it's a, like I said, we're not in the parks business, and so that does make it a challenge. Another thing, we've already recognized Dr. DiLorenzo for the article, but I got to recognize her again on our water quality updates. We have actually achieved our ORLAP certification, or as it relates to our lab. So we are certified in order to process samples for 4 different cyanotoxins. We're actually the first one in the state to get that designation. Wow. So many kudos to Suzanne and also Tracy Triplett, who works with her in the lab, and it's a significant feat, and so we're very proud. The benefit for us is now it puts us in a position of one, being able to process samples much quicker, having that information that will be useful if we ever needed to modify our treatments in order to address issues in the watershed. So we're very excited about that. Let's see. Also, our finance department had an opportunity to work with the county and learn more about the county gatekeeper program assistance. So some county staff shared with our folks some of the different options and resources that are available to older adults and people with disabilities. And so, again, trying to create that awareness. These are always things where we continue to try to work with others to try to figure out what resources might be helpful to our customers as well.
I want to say that partnership is very commendable to be able to do that and then open up dollars for them to be able to pay their water bill.
Yeah, so some of that money isn't necessarily available for the water bill piece. I'm looking to Carol, because she was actually at the meeting.
So, what we do to assist customers with paying for their water bill is we have a partnership with St. Vincent de Paul, and that's included in the budget, and so every year we send $5,000 to St. Vincent de Paul that's earmarked for CRW customers' water bills only. This meeting that we had with the county, the Aging and Disability Resource Center, is their way of getting information out to us, because we have contact with so many people that we can kind of tell, especially if we have customers that we work with for a long time, we can kind of tell maybe if something's off with them, and then we can kind of guide them towards these other resources. The resources that they offer don't really cover paying for the water bill, but we are also hopeful that if they can get help in other areas, that frees up some of their money to keep current on their water bills. So, and it's just, the Gatekeeper program is for anybody that has contact with people that might need help. So, you know, individuals can look up the Gatekeeper thing on Clackamas County website, and if you have a neighbor or somebody down the street that you think maybe they need some help, you know, they used to keep their yard perfect and now they haven't been out there in months, just all different kinds of things. And the list of resources is really pretty impressive.
Good job. Good job on that.
So, next item I just want to mention is an update on our VHF radio system program. So, kudos and appreciation go to Don Bunyard, who's been bird dogging and dealing with all the different challenges in bringing this project in for completion. The nice thing is we have our phase 2 of our mobile and portable radio deployment has been completed as of July 1st. We're now in the process of getting our radios programmed and some kind of tweaking that system so it's not fully operational yet, but that's something we're working on this month. Again, thanks to Don for his work on that. One piece that wasn't necessarily part of this project, but I do want to highlight because we got some extreme value out of that, is we do have, as part of the county C800 radio program, there was some pretty active rebates and incentives, and so we were able to replace some of our C800 radios, or old outdated C800 radios that'll be useful to just communicate with emergency responders and some of those. So that's another nice tool to broaden our reliability as it relates to communications and emergencies and stuff. The discount, I think it was like 10 cents on the dollar is what we were able to get those radios for. So appreciate Don's work on that. And then the rest of the information is just more general update stuff. The final item as far as looking ahead is I just wanted to remind you that the July 22nd work session's been canceled, so that is not, to get that deleted off your calendar if it isn't already. We also have our board agenda preparation meeting.
Yep, and I have can I say something about that?
Mm-hmm.
That, and I talked to Commissioner French about this, but I'm not available. I was wondering if we could do that on Monday.
Oh, yeah, we'll work
At 1, the 22nd at 1?
the 22nd at 1.
Yeah.
I will confirm that, but that should work.
Okay.
Are we all going to that?
No, that's just the president and
The
secretary.
president
Okay.
and secretary.
Just, I didn't see that on my calendar.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, something you should see on your calendar is, I also want to point out that the Special Districts Association of Oregon is hosting a board member training that's scheduled for August 6th. And currently we have Commissioner French and Commissioner Janelle signed up for that.
Cool, we
So
should carpool.
if anybody else is interested, please.
That's the same one that they've always had, right?
Yep, yes, they do it every 2 years. It's geared more for either new commissioners or commissioners who haven't had the process before. It's a lot of this similar information that what you may have received as far as the orientation that staff.
Right, because
It's a
I
different thing.
went to one of these
Yep.
SDF, so I won't bother.
Yep.
It's great that they do that.
Yep, no, it's very, very helpful, so. So that concludes my report.
I have a question on the 152nd Street Reservoir, so that is going to be completely done at some point, and
Which one?
a big celebration.
You know that one.
There'll be a big celebration.
You want a
Ribbon cutting.
ribbon cutting?
Yes,
There you go.
I want a
So-
ribbon cutting.
There you go.
yes, I want a ribbon cutting.
So I'll, so yeah, we're working on, it won't be done as far as landscaping and all of that, until probably, the early spring. And so, it's always nice to have ribbon cuttings when it's nicer weather.
That's fine.
But it will be something to show off, and it was nice, we did have a chance to host a tour of the reservoir for AWWA members and professionals, and so appreciated staff's work on doing that in coordination with the consultants who are working on that project, so it's a good project to see.
So the ribbon cutting will be next spring.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I'm looking to Adam, I don't know what.
We'll invite everyone.
That
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Adam's up for a party, right?
Yeah.
I don't have much of a voice right now, so.
Yeah,
So
so
everything you're saying.
unfortunately, I've got a number of staff that
Sign
are
language.
a little under the weather.
Okay.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay, public comment?
Great job.
Anybody? Okay, commissioner reports? Anybody go anywhere and learn anything? No?
Well, I went to the C4,
Uh-huh.
and in fact, I just dropped off the booklet for it. So if it's available if everyone wants to read it.
Oh, okay.
Was there anything?
I went to Sunrise's meeting. They are looking at a rate increase. And Oak Lodge is also, I guess, rate increase, their rate's 4.5%. Kudos to Chris Hawes for his demeanor during the meeting. A gentleman who identified himself as the appointed mayor of Damascus, who wants an IGA with Sunrise, was warmly received and, informed that, yes, I mean, they would, look into it, and Ernie kind of back you up. So, and Chris did very well through the meeting. Kudos to, it just never ceases to amaze me. The staff we have here, I mean, being asked to be chairman of committees, getting accolades for financial situations. Suzanne is just rolling in them, it seems like. And, you're a damn good group.
Yeah.
There's just no other way to put it.
I second that.
And that is, you're awesome. So, and I want to thank Cindy and Jenny for coming tonight and helping us out. You survived, and I hope everything's okay with Bob. I know he's doing well. And you're breathing, Cindy left. They don't give me as much of a hassle for that. So, anything else? Ready? Meeting's adjourned.